Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Welcome to day 4 of Waxfant. If this is the first Waxfant video you've seen, Christmas time we tend to do a bit more of a special thing. So what we're doing this year is we're giving you a Waxfant calendar to work through. So every day you're going to get an earwax video from us at 9 PM UK time. This is day 4, so if you haven't already checked out days 1 through 3. So you can see this patient's come through. Oh my goodness, this was so blocked. Lovely guy, but you've got this wax and skin and it's hard and it's crumbly and it's all over the place in here. So this was a real sort of tough one to remove. What you can see I'm doing here is just lifting from the base of the canal here. You'll see there's an ever so slight tremor. You might not notice on this one, but we had obviously a patient yesterday with a tremor that was quite severe. This patient's doing very mild, so you might see a little bit of shake into the camera. But what I'm doing here first of all is detaching from the base of the canal. Now when you've got this kind of wax issue here where there's lots of skin and other bits of debris and all sorts in here, then what you'll find is you will get layers that are stuck really firmly to the canal wall, and that's what this little bit of skin is here. It just started, when it gets sucked into the suction tube there, it just started to vibrate up and down really quickly, which is known as clarinetting. So it just makes quite a high-pitched squealing sound, which is not pleasant if it's in your ear canal. So I've just switched over now to the crocodile forceps here, just to take that long strip away, because that's the one that was kind of hanging around in the end of the suction tube. Now we've just lifted another section of skin. Let's see if we can clamp onto that. You'll see the cilia at the base of the canal here quite firm, what's the word I was going to do? I've lost my train of thought. Quite thick. It's quite dense, the cilia there. So we just got past those now, so we can work that a little bit deeper in, so we can get past those cilia now. You can see as we're lifting from the canal, see how it doesn't sort of come away, it more sort of folds backwards on itself. And you'll get these long strips of dry skin. That's what we're working on here. You can see that underlying piece of skin and then the wax that's attached to the top of it. So let's draw this out. There we go, out that comes. You'll see that little tail of skin attached to the back end there. It brought another section forward. You can actually see how this concertina is. Now it's a much bigger piece of skin, so we can effectively get on that without it whistling there. But now we're just lifting from the base of the canal again. You can see how it's kind of detaching from all around the outside edge first of all, and then trying to get that central section away. Look at the color difference. Can you see the much lighter material at the top compared to the much darker material at the bottom? So the lighter material tends to have a little bit more skin mixed in with it, and the darker material then does tend to be this sort of more waxy material. So I'm just collecting everything into the suction tube and just slowly drawing it off the canal wall here. We've got it. Oh, we see we've got a little bit of movement. That's a big piece starting to loosen off. There we go. The difficulty you have when you have these plugs that have a lot of skin in them is they do tend to bind together really well. This looks like a little flap of skin there. There we are, just to the one side. So let's get rid of that. Out that goes. Now you'll start to see a much darker material here further in. There we go, and you can see that little sort of ripple effect of skin there on the left-hand side, sorry, on the right-hand side, you'll see that little ripple effect of skin. So we're just working along this much harder section here. You can see we've got a little tail of wax that came away a little bit further out towards the outer part of the ear canal there. So we're back in those cilia again. Let's draw that out. Looks like it drew some of the skin with it as well there. There we go, out that comes. So lots of little pieces coming away at the moment until we can break this really big central plug down. Let's lift up from the base again here. You can see that long strip of dry skin to the right-hand side there. That keeps folding down in front of the wax, which can cause a problem, especially if it folds all the way across. It can be a bit more problematic because that piece of skin then will constantly be flicking in front of what you're trying to lift up. But you can see this is firmly wedged in here. This patient having lots and lots of hearing issues, and understandably so. When you see the size of this plug, and that's, you know, without what we've already taken away, it formed a really good blockage in here. Let's see if we can get this top section of wax moving. That did have a little bit of movement to it just a second ago. So let's see if we can exploit that a little bit. It just broke away, unfortunately. Let's work on that harder section just there. if I can get a grip and just do some very, very gentle wiggling, which is what you can see me doing here, sometimes it's just enough just to draw the plug down. To give it a bit of a helping hand, we've introduced a little bit of olive oil in here as well. So if we do get this moving, that oil is going to work down the side of that wax and form a lovely kind of slippery barrier, if you like. So it's just going to slide across that skin really well. Look at that piece of skin coming away there. That was nestled all the way down that right-hand side of that wax. Real big layer. You can tell it's skin because it's got that sort of concertina, that little ripple effect running all the way down. Out that comes. Look at that coming away. Perfect. You can really see that rippled layer running all the way down there. And that's obviously where the skin is sort of migrating out laterally. If you get something blocking at the front, it just all kind of backs up and rolls up, if you like. So there we are. Plug's working its way down the canal. Oh, here we go. Just got that top section away there. Let's go in now, grab the next section. It's all moving really well now on this ear canal. There it comes. Is it going to come out? Yes, it is. Sometimes with these plugs, you might have a little tail of skin that's still attached to the canal wall. So as you draw this out, sometimes the little tail of skin will hold it in. There's a little bit just at the top of the canal, but the ear canal itself is looking lovely and clear. Let's just grab that section. Oh, you can see a little bit of blurring there from the olive oil. Is that going to come away? Oh, it came away really well, that piece. Lovely. Always a little bit more cautious when you've got to take one that's very close to the canal wall away. And we'll take a look behind that. There we go. There's the eardrum looking lovely and healthy. Let's have a look at the other side. Oh my goodness, exactly the same on the other side. Actually, this is probably a little bit worse because you've got that long sort of sloping layer that came down to the front. So I've gone straight in with olive oil here. To remove this, you're going to have this long front section here. When we peel this up, the olive oil can go back underneath. Wax will naturally want to go back to its first shape and form, if you like. So when you've got this long sloping front end to it like that, it naturally wants to settle back down. As soon as you take the suction away, it's just going to go back to where it was. If you put the olive oil in, when it does go back down, it doesn't stick there again then. So you can see we've managed to get that long tapered section from the front. Out that comes. There we go. A little bit of skin hanging on the back end of it was what's attached to that plug there. And let's just take this away. We'll just work down this left-hand side now. You can see that layer coming off the canal wall. The reason we've got to do that is if it's holding onto the canal wall in those thin layers, when we get that central plug and start to pull it, those thin layers on the side are going to hold everything in place. So we're just going to work on this. Oh, is it going to come away? Or not quite. It's getting a little bit of movement there. I can just see it starting to move. It's coming. Top section broke away. But it's taken a nice big chunk away with it, which is great. So let's get rid of that. Anything we take away is going to give us more space, more maneuverability. When we need to wiggle something back and forth, if we've got a little bit of space around it, obviously we can get a bit more of a wiggle and it'll move a bit quicker. Now, this is always hard. When you get these dry, flat-fronted sections of wax, always tough ones to take away. But this one, luckily, is starting, well, I think that's just the top section there that's come away, yeah. But it may well have just dropped the top part of the wax. It might just have pulled that forward as that came away then. Yeah, you can loosen that bit there. Let's get rid of that, and we'll have a better view behind that then. So you can see lots of tiny little crumbly pieces coming away here. Here we are. Lift it nearly. Let's get it. Oh, it's so packed down in there. Such a tough one to do. We did a really tough one a couple of I think it was probably about a week and a half ago now, where it was a sort of like an impacted skin husk. Oh my goodness, that was a tough one. But this has started to come away now really, really well. Look at that coming down the canal. Luckily, the whole thing moved. There's a bit of a tail attached to that, I think. I think we might have just left a little bit just at the entrance to the canal. Yeah, there it is. So, oops, missed it. Let's go back in and grab it again. There we go, out that comes. Perfect. Really kind of smooth side tie. You can see it's being attached to that canal wall. Eardrum looking much, much better. Gosh, this is a really tough layer of skin here at the top. Now this is either going to come away really easily. One thing you want to be careful of here is risk of bleeding. So when you're peeling skin, if you've ever had a pull, I use this analogy a lot, but if you've ever had a pull at the side of your nail and you pull it and it just kind of goes halfway up your elbow, that kind of thing can happen in ear canals. And when you pull it, it can go across the surface. The difference is the blood vessels are really close to the surface in the ear canal, so it causes a little bit of bleeding. So this is what we removed. We got 5 centimeters, 2 inches worth of wax. You can see all these various plates and various colors in here. With some has got skin mixed into it. Some has, some has the chunks of wax in there as well. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did voicing it over. Stay tuned tomorrow for day 5, I think, of Waxvent. And yeah, as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. I'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.